clarify all these 6 powerful habits, and this is where the habits will be defined. And what we'll do is we'll define each habit one by one. If you want, you can take a note, and there'll be 6 habits, and there'll be a definition of habit, and then there'll be a process on how to implement that habit in your life. Because habit is one thing, but implementing that habit in your life is very, very critical. Okay, guys, so are you ready? Are you with me? I mean, can we get a...
Yes, yes. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'm so glad. Okay. So the first and the foremost habit, is that you have to write down your goals. 90% of the people, when I do a lot of trainings and when I go for a lot of speaking sessions, I'll ask people one question. And more than half the people in that room, they're always perturbed by this question. So I'm going to ask this question to you too. Okay, and if you can, my suggestion is you can write this question on your diary, pen, mobile, whatever is there. This question is very, very important because this can actually change your life. Okay, it's a very simple 5-6 sentence ka question hai, but I'm going to ask you. And don't give me answer today, but think about the answer for this question while you sleep tonight, and then you'll see what is the answer to this question. And the question is this. Question is, ask yourself, what exactly do you want? What exactly do you want? I'm not saying what do you want. What exactly do you want? What do you want out of your life? When I say exactly means you need to define. You need to define. If I want wealth, how much wealth I want. If I want a car, which brand I want. If I want a house, which one I want. If I want success in my career, which position I want to be there. To be specific and define that. So first and foremost, what you should do is, first habit is just please write down your goals. Easy way of doing it is whatever diary you use, I use this diary, and so the last page of the diary, okay, go to the last page and write down goals. How to do this? There are 3 steps to do this. Step number 1 is write down your most important 3 goals. Don't complicate things, and I don't want to complicate things, right? Only 3 things. Only 3 things. Last page of your diary, write down these 3 things. 3 goals. It can be financial, family, health, wealth, whatever it can. तुम्हारा life का goal क्या है? Write down 3 goals. But one goal has to be a big goal. Out of these 3 goals, one has to be a big yearly goal. Big yearly goal out of these 3 goals, right? And third step is, which is most important, is that you have to appoint a referee who is telling you, and these goals are not for you. You have to tell your family and friends, "Ki boss, these are my 3 goals." Then you have to appoint a referee. Referee is nothing but a person who will tell you, are you going on track with this goal or not? Who will tell you this entire year, he or she will keep telling you. A good choice would be, for referee would be your spouse, your husband or your wife, because they will not let you forget your goals. If you tell them, look, this is my goal, and tomorrow you're doing something else, they'll point you. and they'll be your referee. Tell your family member that, look, is saal, these are my 3 goals. And if you think I'm not going as per these goals, point me. You be my referee. And define a referee. And tell your daughter or your son or your wife or your friend that, boss, you be my referee. You keep giving me a feedback. Where am I going wrong? See, the referee's job is what? Referee's job is to tell you when you are fouling. You are a player. Just assume that you are a football player, right? What is your job? Your job is to play. You're focused on playing. But referee tells you, boss, you've done a foul. Referee tells you, boss, you've done this goal or not done this goal. So give this referee job to referee. Don't take this referee's job on yourself. It's never going to work. Okay, appoint a referee. Tell these 3 goals to yourself, to your people around you, to your family, to your friends. Tell this. So this is habit number 1. We come to habit number 2 now. Habit number 2 is you have to generate some enthusiasm and some energy. See, nobody wants to deal with a person who is dull and boring. So dekhne mein, you are looking, your body language, your appearance only looks like dull and boring and negative. Nobody wants to deal with this person. If you want to be successful, you have to be a person who is generating enthusiasm and energy. When you go in a room, people should feel that energy. How to do that? 3 steps again. One is that create some positive body language. Before your thoughts, your body language come into picture, right? If you see in these 3 pictures I've shown, a simple thing like how you are standing, your posture tells the other person whether you're confident or not confident. If you're standing in the second one, like your arms behind and your shoulder down, and you enter a room, the person people who are sitting there, they'll feel that, look, this guy is not very confident here. But if you come with a broadened shoulder and your hand on your waist and then enter the room, people see, wow, this guy has some energy, boss. This guy has some enthusiasm. So create a very positive body language. Don't slouch. Don't be seen. When you walk, when you stand, your standing or your walking should look elegant and beautiful. It should generate confidence. To give you a very simple example, next time, whenever you get time, watch army guys. How do they stand? If suppose we are 10 trainers, some 10 office guys, and there is some army fellow who comes with his uniform and he stands stoutly in the room, who do you think is command more energy and attention? Without even speaking a word, that fellow, that army guy, because his posture would be so wonderful that he will command all the attention. So work on that. And secondly, be very careful of what kind of words are you using. Okay, are you using positive words or negative words in your normal talks? I'll give you a simple example. When there is somebody is given you a job, okay, and so what do you say? This job is hard, bahut mushkil hai. Or the other sentence you can say is, I'll take this job, it is very challenging. Now, only using or changing the word from hard to challenging makes it very interesting. Because hard tells you this is very hard and tough to do. I might fail. Challenging tells you that this is adventurous. Let me go for it. A simple change of word. So this change of word should happen in your behavior. When you speak to anyone, these words need to change. Start using more positive words, more challenging words, okay, not negative words. Third is show confidence. I again told you the way you stand, the way you look at somebody's eyes tells a lot about you, Create that confidence. Your posture, see this in this picture, you see this gentleman and lady, the way they are standing, it is telling you they're confident. They're not talking to us. We don't know who they are. Only because of the way they are looking and they are standing, okay, we think and we perceive they are very confident people, right? So this is how we are designed. So please imbibe these habits. Okay, we'll move to habit number 3. Habit number 3 is one of my favorite habits, and this is called laser sharp focus. How to create that focus. So I'm a very avid reader. When I started reading, I used to always buy books and I used to never complete. I used to only read 5 to 10 pages and then I used to keep the book in a bookshelf, right? It never used to get finished. Never. I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me. This is a very common phenomenon. We all buy books and they're all kept the way they are, right? Then I decided one day that why am I not able to read these books? I've bought so many books, I'm not able to read yet. Then I realized because I don't have focus. The moment I start reading, after 3 or 4 or 5 pages, I get a distraction. Somebody is calling, somebody is there, the TV noise. My own thoughts go haywire. They're going somewhere else, and therefore I'm losing focus, and I'm not able to read. So I cultivated some ways of creating focus, and like I said, all these are practical experiences. By doing all these 3 or 4 things, which I'm going to share now, I was able to reach a point wherein I was reading around 11 books in a month, which is like, uh, it was as fast as you give me a book and in 4 days, I'll be done with the book. Okay, and I can actually tell you the summary of the book. What does this book say? This one habit actually changed the entire life, because then I realized there's so much of knowledge around there, and which I was not actually able to learn. Okay, now how to do this? We'll come to how to create this focus. Very important. One is, you don't have to be a multitasker. When you say, na, I'm a multitasker, this is all bullshit. Nobody wants to be a multitasker. Ask a guy who has lost his life while texting and driving in his car. We all know, right? People lose their life when they are calling and texting and phoning, and with one hand they're driving their car and then they're texting and they're doing this. Why do they lose their life? Because they're trying to do multitask. They're trying to drive also, they're trying to use their mobile also. But look, our brain is not designed to do this multitask. Computer is designed to do multitask. Computer can do 100 things processing at a time. Our brain is not computer. A brain is designed to do one thing at a time. So you have to create that focus. Now, if you are reading, then focus on reading. Then don't focus on checking out your WhatsApp. It's not going to work. Okay? So don't do multitasking. Second way to create focus is, you need to clear the clutter, okay, from your computer and phone. I see a lot of clutter on people's computer, a lot of clutter on everybody's phone. And I'm going to give you a very nice tip now, and which you must do on your laptop. What is this tip? This tip is, create only 2 folders on. This is my laptop background. There are only 2 folders. One folder is called Today, okay, and the other folder is called Everything. That's it. That's it. So look now how clear the entire desktop looks, right? So whatever job I'm supposed to do today, I do it and I'll put it in today's folder. Now tomorrow this today's folder will go in Everything folder, and again a new folder will be created called Today. And then when I put this folder in Everything folder, I'll put a date to this folder saying that it was 4th December 2020. Every day's folder is in Everything. Tomorrow, if I want to see what I did on 30th November, I'll just go to Everything folder. I'll go to 30th November folder. I'll click. पूरा डेटा आ जाएगा कि 30th November को मैंने किया क्या. Right? So please do this. This is a very good habit. I'm doing this regularly and I find it very, very good and very productive. Only 2 folders. Third thing is, you need to switch off your notifications, right? Your mobile phone is a big distraction, big distraction. It can be productive also, it can be distractive also. So go to notifications there and switch off all the notifications. Nothing will happen. Because notifications are one of the biggest distractions in your life. Somebody puts a stupid joke on WhatsApp, you get a notification, you are doing something important, you will see the joke, and your entire focus will be out. The research says that when you do this, if you're doing something and somebody messages you and actually you go and check your phone and then come back, entire process of coming back from where you left, it takes 23 minutes to create same kind of focus and concentration. So one notification, which can be as stupid as some junk mail, can actually cost 23 minutes of your life. And your time is precious, my friends. So don't waste your time in all this social media nonsense, forwards, and notifications. So you cannot control forwards, but you can definitely control notifications. Go to notifications, switch them off. Nothing will happen. You'll become more productive, believe me. You do it now. I have done this. I suggest please do it now. Okay. Last point on here is that you have to define your focus time. That's how you build focus. Now there's an example here. If you can see, there are two airplanes. If you go in an airplane, okay, there are two focus time which are totally defined and studied and told to the pilots. Now, which are these critical times? Critical time is takeoff and landing. You cannot do anything during takeoff and landing. If you realize the moment it's getting taken off, they'll switch off all the lights, right? They switch off all the lights. They'll tell everybody to take the seat because we are taking off. Now, why they do that? Because they don't want anyone, neither them nor their crew member or anyone, to be distracted. That is a very, very critical time. Very critical time for the pilot. Okay, and the second most critical time is when they are landing. Again, they'll tell the same thing, that we are switching off the light, please take seat, we are landing. So you should need to define your critical time. If your critical time is early morning from 10 to 12, that is your critical time. Okay, be super productive during those 2 hours. Then you don't do anything else on those 2 hours. Okay, even if somebody is calling, tell them, you please call me after 12 o'clock. You need to define this time, these blocks of time. This is how you create focus. Coming to habit number 4. Now, they say you need to develop the influencing skills, right? How do you influence people? And the best book on this subject, which I'm sure many of you would have read, was a book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I picked up only 5 points from here, trying to make it very, very simple. No complications here. No Harvard University ka gyan here. I'm telling you very simple 3 or 4 things which are important for you to influence people. They're timeless rules, a very simple one, right? Rule number 1, you have to compliment people often. We forget to compliment people. Somebody is doing good job in our team, you have to compliment. Compliment karne se, you are influencing the person more rather than rebuking them or telling them you are bad or something. If you compliment a person, he'll be more alert to listening to you. So please compliment often. I have not said this. Mr. Dale Carnegie has said this in his book. You must read this. Second part is you must smile. Keep smiling. It gives a very positive aura around. Nobody wants to be speaking to a frowning person, right? But everybody wants to listen to and speak to a smiling person. Please smile. There are all 3 things. Your beautiful name, the most beautiful sound in the world. Okay, even if you ask a kid or an old gentleman or a mid-age person, you know what? The most beautiful sound is his or her own name. The moment you take somebody's name, he'll suddenly be alert. Try this out. Next time you go to a watchman or a butler or a waiter in a restaurant, right? Try to understand what that watchman or waiter's name is. And next time you're sitting, call that person by his or her name. And you'll see you'll get much better service than everybody else. Simple thing. Because nobody is calling them by the name. Everybody is saying, excuse me, hello, aisa bol rahe hain, right? You say, Ramesh, and suddenly he'll come to you. He'll leave everybody else and come to you. So that's how humans are designed. Okay? Now, be a great listener, they say, because sometimes you just listen to other person's point of view and you are influencing the person. Sometimes people just want to be heard. So cultivate this capacity of being a great listener, especially if you are in sales or in marketing. Because if you don't listen to your client and you go to the client and just start speaking about your product and your benefits in this, boss, you're not understanding what that person wants. To know what he wants, first you have to be very patient and ask a lot of questions to that person so you understand what they want. Right? So if ideally a sales call should be 80% of the time you should be listening to the customer, and 20%, which is the last 20%, you should be pitching your product. A lot of time it's ulta. 80% of the time you're just pitching your product and then you're not listening to that person's needs. Be a great listener. You must talk what is important for them. Everybody in this world wants to know what is important for me. You give all the gyan about your product, services, everything. What is it in for me? That is what I want to hear. You speak their language, and that's how you influence them. You don't speak your language. You don't speak what is important or urgent for you. They are least bothered about your targets. Have you done your target or not? That's not the problem. But the product is meeting their requirement, that is important. Right? So all these are very fundamental, easy rules, but they're very, very important if you want to be a good influencer. Okay, we are coming to second last habit, which is called you have to cultivate the habit of being fearless. How do you do that? So you have to develop the courage to take action. Now, the very small story, Mount Everest was conquered in 1954. This is Mount Everest. And the height is 8848 meters, we all know. But there was an incident which happened before 1954, which happened around 29 years before actually Mount Everest was conquered. Now, what was that incident? Incident was, there was this guy called George Mallory. George Mallory, he was a guy, he was a soldier in British Army, and he wanted to climb Mount Everest. He had climbed it 3 times. 3 times he had gone to climb Mount Everest. He has failed. He was just, I think, 37 years old, and he was going 4th time. Right? He was going 4th time. And look, this was 1924, around 30 years before actually the Mount Everest was conquered. Somebody asked him, boss, why are you going now? 3 times you've tried, you failed. Again you're going. He had just got married and he had a kid. Why are you going? It's so dangerous. Chances are that you'll never come back. Why are you doing it? Right? And why you want to climb Mount Everest? Why? And you know what was his reply? His reply was, because it's there. Because it's there, there is a target which I have been getting defeated. Because that's a target, I want to overcome the target. Because it's there, I want to. So this is the courage to take action. This is the first rule to becoming fearless. You have to have that courage to take action. Second is courage to live with integrity. Remember this scene. There was a scene in Titanium Square in China, when Chinese Revolution was happening. And this fellow, it's a very iconic scene. There is a fellow who is a very middle class person. He has gone to buy vegetables and he's coming. And there are tanks on the road. And he said, look, I'll stand in front of the tank. He stood in front of the tank. And if you go on Google and you'll find this beautiful scene, the tank could not crush him. Tank could not crush him. Right? So you have to stand for some purpose, some values in your life. There's a famous saying, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. You need to learn to stand for something. Courage to own responsibility. Winston Churchill said, the price of greatness is responsibility. People who are great, there's one thing very common in them, that they own the responsibility. Good, bad, ugly, whatever is the outcome. But they say, boss, ye maine kiya. It was bad, it's my problem. If it was good, it was my problem. But you need to cultivate that habit to own responsibility. Great people own responsibility. They don't shy away from responsibility. Right? So these are 3 very important parts on how to be fearless. We're coming to our last habit. And all these habits have been a personal experience. That's why you'll see I am actually very convinced about all these habits, and that's how I'm talking to you. And this has been a very, very important habit. This has been kind of game changer in my life. I discovered this habit around 1.5 years back. Uske pehle I was not knowing about it. Okay, neither I believed this, but then I discovered, and it has made a immensely significant difference in my whole approach towards everything which I'm doing. Okay, and this habit is very simple. This habit is nothing but it's meditation, a daily meditation. People tell me we don't have time. Okay, I ask them, what do you do at 5:30 to 5:35 in the morning? You tell me what you do. Nothing. They sleep. Time is there. I get up at 5:30. From 5:30 to 5:35, I do meditation. Everybody's got same time, right? It's the way how you use this time. And it doesn't cost time. All these things doesn't cost time. This costs will. This needs your dedication. That is what is needed. Time nahi chahiye, right? How to do this? I make it very simple for you. The technology has helped us in getting this meditation also easily. There are apps. Okay, if you are more glued to technology and you want to start it, use their apps. The best app which I found online was Calm, the middle one. You can download the app. They have guided meditations. You can just plug the meditation this thing, and it's a 10 minutes meditation. They'll guide you and they'll teach you how to do it. And once you learn the skill, then you don't need to use the app. Okay, but please start by doing 30 seconds, 10 seconds, even 1 minute, whatever time. Okay, that will make a huge impact on the way you are reacting during the day. Your reaction to things will change, and you will see this happening in your life. All right, and let me summarize now. We are coming to the end of the session. So there are 6 habits which we define. And one is you have to create clear goals. This is the most important habit. As I told you, go to the back page of your diary, write down these 3 goals and appoint a referee and announce it to the world that these are the 3 goals. Second is you have to generate enthusiasm. You need to change your body language, the words that you are using. Third is you have to create sharp focus. Some techniques which we discussed, how can you create those focus by cutting down distractions, right? Fourth was developing influencing skills. They're very simple but very powerful ways of remembering people's name, listening to people carefully, smiling. Very, very simple thing, complimenting people more often. All these things will help you create those influencing skills. Fifth is be fearless. You need to own your failures and own your wins. That will make you fearless. And be responsible for things which you do. Don't shy away from your responsibility. And fifth is, of course, you need to meditate so that your reaction to a lot of things change. Okay, so these are the 6 habits, my friends. Please start using them, and you'll see a huge change happening in your life. It has happened in my life. I have done crazy stuff which I never thought I'll do. My latest craziness was that I thought of creating a song. One day walking on the beach, I just wrote lyrics of the songs, and I found a composer, and I actually made a song and a music video, and we created a song. And then I went to the Screenwriters Association of India, and they gave me a fellow membership. Now I'm officially a lyrics writers in the music film industry. I never in my dream thought I'll do this. So crazy things happen. You have to try. You don't know what all you can do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.